Not going to say anything until the first person gets here. One person watching now. Is it myself? Maybe I won't say anything until the counter reads 2. Hello, 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 as Ed Dutton might say. Well, I had a lovely weekend. Did you? I invited myself over to a friend's place, and yes, that was all very enjoyable. Then I went to Speaker's Corner. And to be honest, it's okay. The last 2 times I've been there, it feels like a kind of, I was going to say cocktail party, but it wouldn't be I guess it'd be a cocktail party without the cocktails, a drinks party without the drinks. And but it's great in the sense that you can always talk politics. You don't have to start with a small talk. You can launch into whatever bee is in your political bonnet and start from there, and you get a response and you engage in a dialogue, and that is great. Now I'm trying to remember who I really spoke to. It's such a whirl that you sometimes, if you've been to a really great party, you hardly remember what you said because it was just a whirl of talking to this person here and that person there, and it was wonderful. On this occasion, I got there late. It was getting dark. A few people recognized me, which was nice. It's nice to be recognized at these public places. And even sought out. When people say, well, what did you mean when you said X, Y, or Z? And I'm always happy to explain. I was standing with the anti-feminism people, and I got a platform. I stood there, and I managed to get people to come and talk to me. I felt like I was selling my wares or something. And then I was conscious that perhaps I was one of those ladies of the night, just standing there and trying to capture a man's eye to get him to come up with me and engage. And I thought I did an okay job of it. Just standing there and catching men's eyes. A lot of men didn't quite understand about feminism. The literature in the stall denouncing feminism was not particularly helpful. I have made a few suggestions, but as you know, nobody listens to me. We want things to be easily understood as quickly as possible so that the problem will be addressed as soon as possible, unless you want it to get worse. Why would you want to get it? Why would you want it to get worse? If something's wrong, it should be righted. If it should be righted, then it must be righted. And if it must be righted, it must be corrected as soon as possible. So what are you waiting for? One of the more memorable conversations I had was with somebody who was shocked that I would be against feminism. But since he was a Brexiteer, we had something in common. There was some common ground there. I asked him if he'd noticed that we aren't quite getting Brexit. But he wanted to talk about feminism. He was finding it a little surprising that a woman should be against feminism. And eventually I told him, well, the full panoply of all my ideas, a one-party theocracy governed by the principles of secular Quranism. And he was saying, I don't have to. Or was it he said? Well, he was basically saying that his woman is very happy with him. And I said, well, he must be very wealthy. And he said, no, I'm not wealthy at all. And I said, well, you don't have to be wealthy to, afford cleaners, because he was saying basically that his woman wanted for nothing. So I asked if she was a good cook. He said no. She didn't even know where the kitchen was. I said, well, perhaps he does. She does little things for him around the house, like, clean. And he said no. She didn't do that either. And then I concluded that she must be very good in bed. And he smiled broadly at me. So there you go. If you're a woman and you're good at sex, you don't have to do that much cooking or cleaning. Anyway, the main feature, the main subject of this dream is this extraordinary man I encountered. And he recognized me. He recognized me from a video from SC Dawa, which was one I did earlier with Ali Dawa, I think in November, talking about the verse about divorce. I was surprised he recognized me. But I guess if he's one of the regulars, I hadn't established that he was. I guess he must be, because his channel, which is all about buskers, he can spots buskers and goes around recording the better buskers in London. And I was saying that, in London, if you like that sort of thing, you do get superb talent. And he agreed with me, and he was telling me how shocking it was that people could just walk on by with all this sort of wonderful talent. And the surprising thing about it was that he's actually from a Muslim from Casablanca, and um, showing a very, very, what's the word, healthy appreciation for Western music, and so I put his YouTube channel in the description. But we did discuss other things other than the quality and talent of London buskers. And the moon had come out, and I remember him pointing to the moon and talking about the absolute certainty of the a creator who must have created the universe, the divine spark in all of us. And it was all very affecting, I thought, quite moving. I think the tear ducts of my eyes prickled a little. But the extraordinary thing about it was that he was an extraordinarily fragrant man. And that was something I noticed about him, and because I was looking around, it's sort of thinking, should it, why are you smelling like a woman? Because perfumes, there's a certain kind of smell. I mean, men have a different kind of smell from. I mean, in terms of the cologne and all that. And one day, one Christmas, I was given a man scent by mistake, because when people just recycle presents and it's like, oh, it's like a bottle of perfume, I'll give it to this person, and but it was actually cologne for man. Anyway, I got that, and of course I recycled that present. But there's a kind of spicy smell that's popular for scents for men. Anyway, it was nothing like that. Anyway, we kind of got each other's contact names on social media, and then so today I asked him, what cologne were you wearing? What was it? Because it was so funny. I was just sort of really looking around, expecting to see a woman, but it was him. So he told me he went to apparently he had a habit of going to Selfridges and spraying himself with perfume. And the thing was, I thought it was so funny. I mean, I didn't think it was okay. I thought it was unusual, but I didn't think it was sort of bad in a weird way. It was like, oh, what's this? Why? How extraordinary! I must get to the bottom of this mystery. So today I got to the bottom of the mystery because I asked him, what scent were you using? No, I didn't say scent, I said cologne. And he said it wasn't cologne at all, it was perfume. And I thought, wow, perfume. He admits to wearing women's perfume. So I asked him, well, what they were. And it was Tom Ford, and the other was Clinique. And it's not even Clinique for men. It's I think that there's only one Clinique, isn't there? So, and he warned me that if I wanted to do the same thing when I was at Selfridges, they're very strict because lots of people like doing that. They just go into Selfridges and spray themselves with perfume. So, what is there? Clinique Aromatics Elixir, or Happy for women. I should have asked him which one it was. I think it might be the more expensive version. Clinique the Aromatics Elixir. I suppose I should be able to recognize it if I ever get it. yes, I kind of prefer the old way of naming perfumes. Now you just have happy, and you just think of a dwarf, don't you? Uh, but I mean, some of the scents can be quite nice. I've got something called very irresistible, which I quite like. But you feel a bit embarrassed. You sort of spray some very irresistible, and you're kind of very firmly resisted. Um, Not that I physically struggle with people to make myself irresistible. I mean, I just use ideas and words. Hi there, Winona Ryder. So, is there a point of the story? Um, well, yes. Let me continue with this chap who's Muslim, but not particularly practicing um, with very good taste in music. I think, yeah, or tastes that coincide with mine. So basically, if you go to his website, you will find that he has more than one version, because more than one busker play the same old favourites, like um, more than one version of all along the Watchtower, um, Lynyrd Skynyrd's Sweet Home Alabama, and other songs that are the old favourites that buskers like to play, but play particularly well in the hub of talent that is London. So it was, uh, how can I describe it? When you try to interest somebody in your music and they don't like it or something. But anyway, just talking to this guy, it's like, oh, he likes the same thing as me. He likes all along. He don't understand, what's so great about it, and what's so great about these versions that he's um, favoring, and also the fact that he's trying to promote talented individuals in the busking community. And I have a few ideas, and maybe it'll work, maybe not. But it was nice of him to think that I could offer helpful advice, and and it was a pleasure to meet somebody who's not specifically talking about politics. Can music be political? Yes, of course. I know people who got themselves into trouble over their songs. Can a tune be political? I think possibly all kinds of things are perfectly possible of being inconveniently political. And did you know that the song "Tomorrow Belongs to Me" in Cabaret was written by two Jews? That was something I discovered at the weekend. And there is nothing more powerful than a good song, a good tune, and in fact, and really the words don't matter that much. I mean, yeah, people kind of want words because they want to think it means something. The song must be about something or other, but a few key phrases will set the scene. And I do think the song can be very political, and there's a lot of political capital to be made out of songs. And the fact that he's Muslim with such a um, a detailed appreciation of Western culture and music is, well, I felt I'd, met a soulmate or something. Just because he was so unexpected, of course, lots of white people like their, white music, but he was unusual in that he's Muslim. So, what do you think of people like what's the name of those two men who composed, the two Jews who composed "Tomorrow Belongs to Me," which is, by the way, superbly done. In that film when you heard the big first few verses of the song, and then everybody stands up and sings it very fervently. That's very powerful, and it's a great song. I mean, the thing is, a great song. You just want to sing along to it, and this is the kind of song that whatever political persuasion you are, you want a particular song to represent the movement, and that you want it to become famous, you want it to become the song to represent the movement. And why not? Why not make secular Quranism about culture and music? After all, Duvid composed a rap about me. So why not? Why not other things on the subjects that I'm keen about? Hello, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I don't know you people, do I? I don't know you. Who are you? Why do you care? It's women. What are you women doing here? I didn't think you'd be interested in my stuff. It's usually men. But now I have 3 women. Would you perchance be white, middle class, and college educated? Prepared to engage with me on secular Quranism and what benefits it might have for you? Or do you know anyone who might be interested in discussing it with me? That would be great, and then we can have a national conversation about patriarchy and matriarchy and feminism and gender relations and social conservatism and nationalism, which I define as government in the national interest. Well, it would be nice if you're all Jewesses, but I can tell if you were properly brought up Jewess or just somebody pretending to be one. You can tell by the language and how words are used. I can read between the lines. So I think you'll enjoy this chat's channel. Um, Leonard Skinner one is quite fun because I think the three versions. Oh yes, and finally, what I wanted to say was this sort of moment of confusion when I was actually looking around for women because he smelled like a woman. He smelled like a woman, and I was thinking, is he gay? No, I'm sure. I was making all kinds of uh, um, what's the word? Well, basically, I was saying it was okay. There's nothing weird. Yeah, yeah. Just a sort of strangely fragrant Muslim man standing in the moonlight talking um, um, about music. and the extraordinary quality of London buskers. So it was a very interesting encounter, and that's why I'm telling you about it. Linux did get an upgrade. Yeah, yeah. It's you know it's like an anthem, isn't it? It's completely unforgettable, and will just stay with you for decades and decades. All right, and I think I've said all I can on the subject. Thank you for your attention.